He's been walking that line since the clock hit 10. Same old road like a worn-out sin. Bulls drag slow through the dust and tar. Breath smells cheap like the back of a bar. He tells himself, son, this is where you drop. Hard half hope the blacktop finally stops. Every mile sign leans like it heard his prayer, but the line keeps stretching in the heavy night air. He growls, God, you done with me, yeah. Devil in his chest laughs, place your bet. The wind kicks gravel like a quiet reply, carrying all the names that he buried behind. But the road won't end just to lay him down. Keeps rolling out past every dead man town. Cracks in the asphalt spell what he won't see. You ain't as close to the edge as you think you'll be. He thinks he's done, but the dirt says neither. If the road won't end, it's because he hasn't either. Knees hit gravel, palms scrape bread. Blood on the stone like the words he never said. Wild little love with a cross on her chest. He left her standing with a drunk man's mess. He spits, I broke her faith, I broke my own voice. Thin bones tied to the bone. The road beneath him starts to strain and groan, like it's tied to of carrying what he's done. He presses down hard, feels the blacktop shake. Sees a red glow crawl through every break. He laughs once, dry, I guess hell showed up. But the heat feels more like a cracked heart woke up. He says, alright, Lord, if you're in that flame, watch me own every inch of my shame. Cuts his palm deeper with a rusted blade. Lets blood fall slow where the fracture's made. Now the road splits open like a fighter vein. Red light burning through the cracks and pain. A new path glows where he dropped his knees. Not soft, not kind, but it's his to seize. If the ground don't quit, then he won't either. If the road won't end, it's because he hasn't either. No choir sweet, just a local hymn. Boots back up and the night stares in. He don't beg rescue, don't ask to be saved. He just walks that fire that his own sin paid. There's a hard little hope in the heat he breathes. If the road still runs, then the man still leaves. slammed hard like a bad luck storm. Trapped me here with the sins I've worn. Four rough walls and now you see. Truth ain't scared to bring you to your knees. No saints, no sun, just a dark on me. Some doors hold you right where you're meant to bleed. Traded mine cheap just to not die alone. And her, that girl with the wildfire grin, cross on her chest and danger in her skin. I walked away thinking distance heals, but love turns sharp when you dodge what's real. I muttered low, alright then judge, heartbeat pounding like a stubborn grudge. If the dark wants truth, I'll let it bite. Ain't no run left in my bones tonight. Bones tonight, bones tonight. That door stayed shut, so I met the room. Pressed my hand to the wall like a quiet vow bloom. If God's in here, he can watch me stand in the same damn place where I broke as a man. No quiet, no light, just brief, set free. Some doors lock tight, so you face what you flee. Yeah, some doors hold you till you finally see. And I ain't running from the dark in me. He stood alone in that busted up room, floorboards swollen with rain and regret. A cracked old mirror hung crooked on the wall, the kind that had seen too many men try to outrun themselves. His eyes were hollow, not from lack of sleep, but from carrying the weight of every wrong he'd stacked on his own back. He leaned in, whispered through a dry laugh, "You again, still staring me down." Then he drew back his fist, not in rage, but in exhaustion, and drove it into the glass. The mirror didn't shatter outward, oh, its cracks ran inward, crawling toward the face, looking back at him like his reflection was trying to step forward and call him out. He froze chest tight because that broken face looked more alive than he did. Breaks toward you. He pressed his palm to the cold glass, blood from his knuckles seeping into the cracks, like a confession he didn't mean to write. A whisper drifted from the far corner, maybe wind, maybe his own damn conscience, one thing from being ignored. You scared of losing, or scared of trying again? He swallowed and looked deeper into that fractured reflection. Saw the man he used to be, a man who fought dirt, devil, drink, and sometimes even won. So he made a ritual, took the chain round his neck, the bent little cross hanging his touch. He whispered, "Alright, I hear you." The reflection straightened, chin up, eyes sharp, a silent dare from the man he'd quit on too early. And he realized he couldn't bury that version of himself, no matter how hard he tried. Your reflection breaks toward you, it's telling you to return and fight. A man ain't doomed till he chooses to lose the night. You can fade in the dark or burn like a blade in the moonrise. If your reflection breaks toward you, it's telling you to return and fight. He wiped the blood from his palm, set his hat straight and stepped toward the door. Not clean, not redeemed, but ready. The mirror behind him held steady in the moonlight, cracked but upright, just like him. A cold hard truth settled in his chair. Some battles wait for you because they know you'll come back. It was just after sundown, forest breathing slow like some old beast, watching me from the dark. I dragged that busted coffin out beneath the dead oak, laid myself inside like a man signing his last letter. The wood smelled of rot, of forgotten prayers and cheap whiskey from another lifetime. I pulled the lid down, heard the hinges scream like they knew my sins by name. I whispered, "Right, bury me with what I broke." Then I let go, and the damn lid snapped upward, hit the tree trunk behind me like somebody inside shoved it back. I tried again, harder, meaner, like I was fighting my own shadow, but that lid bugged up a second time, throwing my hands off like the coffin was refusing my surrender. Right there, breath fog in the red air, I felt it. The world wasn't done with my name. When even the coffin spits you out, get up. You weren't built to stay buried. You can drown in guilt, but the dirt won't hold you steady. You ain't finished, you just scared of being worthy. When even the coffin spits you out, get up. You weren't built to stay buried. Looking at the lid, rocking like a preacher shaking his head. I mutter, "What's you too good to take me?" And the wind answered first, cold sharp, cutting through the pines like a blade. Then a deeper older voice, maybe God, maybe the devil, wearing my regrets, rose from the dirt under my boots. "Boy, you ain't earned your rest." I clenched my fist so tight the scars cracked open, blood dripped onto the coffin rim, and I made a ritual out of it. Drew a crooked line across the lid, a mark of the man who tried to bury himself alive. The coffin went still, not accepting, just listening. I stood, spine straight as the dead oak behind me, and whispered, "If you won't beneath my boots, like the forest nodding in agreement. Air warm, chest loosened, and for the first time in a long time I didn't feel like running. I felt like facing. When even the coffin spits you out, get up! You weren't built to stay buried. The past ain't changed, it's the weight you learn to carry. You can curse the dark, but the dark still knows you're sturdy. When even the coffin spits you out, get up! You weren't built to stay buried. You right. It was near midnight, cold wind slicing through the pines, when you walked down to that river like a man meeting judgment. Boots, soul, mind, all heart loud like sin, and built a home behind your ribs and refused to leave. You stepped into that black water current, whispering, alright, I'm done running, take me under. The river grabs your legs, pulled hard, but when you let go, when you gave it everything, it spits you back on the mud like a curse reverse. You hit the ground on your knees, water burning your lungs, face stinging with that cold slap of fate. You stood up, angry at the sky, angry at yourself for being too tired to care. Took 2 steps, dove again, harder, deeper, certain this was the end. But the river rose, spun into a wild circle, and smashed your chest back to shore like something older than God, hissing, you ain't done, get up. If the river spits you back right, the current knows you can swim. Ain't no mercy in the water, but there's truth caught in every limb. You ain't losing, you ain't drowning, you're just scared of sinking in. If the river spits you back right, as the current knows you can swim. You wiped the mud from your face, laughed that bitter outlaw laugh, the kind of man makes when he realizes death ain't half as brave as living. You shouted at the water, what the hell do you want from me? And the river answered with a wave slapping your boots, cold, clean, almost holy, like a baptizing you didn't ask for. You reached into your coat and pulled out that tarnished cross necklace, your mother's, your last piece of mercy. You washed it in the river, washed blood and dirt, whisper into the current a little ritual of regret that burned more than the cold. The water calmed as if saying, now you're speaking truth. The wind still, your breath slowed, Your spine straightened, not because you were strong, but because the world refused to let you fall. And you finally whispered, I rise. If the river spits you back, the current knows you can swim. You're called by storms, but storms make steel out of men. Your sins ain't changed, they're trials you learn to bend. You ain't the shadow you were drowning in. If the river spits you better run.
It was near sundown, orange dying out behind the pines like a wounded preacher. I ran through that dark timber, boots slapping roots, heart pounding sin into my ribs. Didn't matter where I was headed, long as it wasn't back to the mess I made. Then that thorn bush caught me, and just one long needle slid into my arm. Not deep, not hurting, just holding me like it wanted to work. I yanked back muttering, I ain't stopping, not tonight. But when I turned to run, that thorn dragged itself down my skin, slow me deliberate, like the damn forest whispering. Look at your blood, boy, then tell me you're done. I froze, not 'cause of the pain, because of the truth behind it. Some wounds don't try to kill you, they just tell you to quit lying to yourself. Some wounds cut first, so you finally stop running. Some wounds cut first, so you finally stop running. You can bury the past, but the past keeps coming. You ain't broken, you're just scared of what's becoming. Some wounds cut first, so you finally stop running. I pressed my palm over that red line, like I was holding a secret I'd kept too damn long. The forest went quiet, no wind, no birds, just the sound of me breathing like a sinner, trying to talk to God without saying his name. Alright, I whispered, what you trying to tell me? And the voice that answered weren't holy, weren't hellish, just my own conscience shaping itself. Out of the dark between the trees, you can run from folks you hurt, but you can't outrun the part of you that did it, that hit harder than any bullet. So I did a ritual, cut a second line across the first, made a cross on my skin, let the blood drip onto the dead leaves. Not a prayer, a confession. The thorn snapped loose on its own, like it agreed. Ooh, ah, ooh. The ground felt steadier, the night felt cleaner. I took one breath, then another, the kind men take when they're done hiding. And I turned back toward the troubled light fled. Some wounds cut first, so you finally stop running. Pain ain't a punishment, it's the truth you keep shunning. If the forest bleeds you, it's 'cause you're meant for so you finally stop running. I ain't fixed, ain't holy, but I'm done turning away. If the night carved my path open, then hell, I'll walk it brave. Some wounds cut first, so I finally stopped running. It was past midnight, cold dirt in my boots, blood on my sleeve from a fight I didn't win or lose. Just walked away from like a coward with pride. Trees leaned in like judges whispering curses, and I was too damn tired to argue back. I tried to one knee, ready to sing, tell the world fine, take me if you want me. But before my palms hit the mud, a black wolf stepped out quiet short. Yellow eyes bright as lantern, flame in a sinner's hand. He didn't growl, didn't bear a tooth, just laid down across the road like a gate made of breathing shadow. I muttered, move boy, I'm done. He blinked slow like he heard the lie in my voice. And when I tried to walk around him, he rolled right back in my path. That beast weren't stopping me from dying. He was calling me out for being scared to keep living. When the beast blocks your fall, stand or admit you fear the climb. Ain't no grave waiting sweeter than the fight I left behind. My sins don't drown me, they sharpen me each time. When the beast blocks your fall, stand or confess you fear the climb. Laughed that cracked outlaw laugh I only use when I'm half dead and half reborn. Said to the night, is this you got, or just my guilt wearing fur? The wolf twitched an ear like he didn't give a damn who I thought he was. He lifted his head once, pointed at my chest with nothing but the heat in his stare. And I swear that gaze knew every wrong I ever caused into the height of my own life. So I made a ritual, cut my palm with the edge of my belt buckle, let her dry fall into the dirt. I promised the sword to pack away, of saying I ain't bowing out tonight. A wolf stood, shook the dust off, then stepped aside real slow, as if telling me, now show me if you mean it. I felt the earth breathe under my boots, felt my bones, remember they were built for carrying weight. The wind cut through the trees, whispering, rise boy, rise. And this time I did. When the beast blocks your fall, stand or admit you fear the climb. There's power in the hurt and truth hid in the ground. My past don't own me, but it walks beside me sometimes, like that wolf in the dark, keeping check on my mind. When the beast blocks your fall, stand or confess you fear the climb. And if the wild itself steps in your way, you don't kneel, you rise, you walked that graveyard road about sunset Sunday, boots dragging dust like he'd been carrying storms for years. Lost his faith the same night he lost his woman, left both at the altar of a burned out church mile west of town. He kicked that crooked cross half buried in clay, cursed it for everything he couldn't bury deep enough. Wind rose sharp, split the dirt like a thin red scar, and that cross began to lean toward him, slow, deliberate, alive. He froze cold, but his heart lit up like a coal being blown back away. It tilted hard enough, he had to catch it. Hands bruised, knuckles bleeding on the splintered wood. And in that moment he knew the thing he threw away had been following him like a shadow that refused to die. Some fate falls you, so you finally hold it up. Some ghosts ain't haunting, they're just waiting on you to stand tough. You can curse the wind, you can down the blood, but a man cannot run what raised them up. Some fate falls towards you, so you finally hold it up. Looked that cross dead in the eye like it was an old enemy, wearing his father's voice. And somewhere between guilt and whiskey breath he muttered, "Why now, why me?" The wind answered first, hissing through the graves, but then a deeper voice echoed from inside the dust. "Cause you ain't done paying, boy, and you ain't done rising either." He swallowed hard, memories clawed back. The woman he drove away, the brother he didn't save, the light carved into his own reflection. He stood the cross upright, pressed his forehead to the wood like a sinner signing a pact with his own damnation. That was his ritual, not holy, not clean, but real enough to count. The ground shook once, the cross steadied itself in the soil, as if accepting the weight of his regret. He breathed deep, that kind of breath a man only takes when he chooses to walk forward instead of fall. Some fate falls towards you, so you finally hold it up. Some sins ain't chains, they're the fire that burns you strong enough. He ain't clean, ain't pure, but he's walking back into the ruins with a spinal stomping cut. So I finally hold it up. And when the wind blew cold behind him, he didn't look back. Ain't no point chasing the dark when it's already chosen to let you ride. Yeah. Some fate falls towards you, so you finally hold it up. It was late July, sun bleeding out behind the graveyard pile. I climbed the dead oak tree like a man done sin too long. Boot heels slipping, rope scratching my neck, dust on my tongue, oh, whispering, lay it down, boy, lay it down. Lay it down. I look at the dirt where my mama prayed, look at the sky where my daddy drank himself cold. And I muttered, half laughing through the hurt, hell dying seems softer than living bold. As soon as I jumped, the rope didn't bite, it snapped up, cracked the air like a wild damn whip. Hit the tree, spun around, fell cold at my boots like a serpent saying, "You ain't quitting yet." I said, then the world ain't done with my name. Like a relic, felt his fibers hum like it knew my sins by heart. Wind rolled in, cold as a church pew confession, and I heard a voice behind me, low, rough. Maybe God, maybe the devil wearing my face. Boy, you think dying ends it? The hardest part is living with what you've done. I left dry, cracked me. Told the wind and teach me to fight clean. I tied that rope around my wrist, not to fall, but like a vow I couldn't run from anymore. The rope tugged once hard like it wanted me up, right swearing back. My breath turned to smoke, my heart beat to drum fire. Something old, something holy, something mean lit up right under my ribs. If even the rope whips upward, then the world ain't done with my name. Flame, the dead don't want me, the dark won't keep me, and the sky sure ain't a shame. If that road rose up like a warning, then I rise too unafraid. 'Cause if even a rope whips upward, the world ain't done with my name. You stood at the foot of that stubborn rise, dust in your teeth, fire in your eyes. You tried that climb more times than sin. Each time the rock stole a piece of your grin. You shouted, hell, I ain't got more to give. Voice cracking rough like it hated to live. Then the mountain answered cold and loud, dropped a stone at your feet like a breaking vow. You whispered, Lord, is this threat or sign? The wind hissed back, quit drawing the line, and the ground beneath you gave one slow shake, not to scare you down, but to make you wake. We're mighty and loud, a storm with you, it ain't falling down. Telling you your name still owns this ground. You think you're done, but the storms disagree, pointing out steps you refuse to see. You curse the climb, but the climb ain't blind. It drops your path when you're losing your mind. Yeah, when the mountain answers every word you said, it's not burying you, it's raising the dead. That stone with a half-tied hand, eating the rock like it knew your stand. Memories cut deep of the man you were, the fights you lost, the sins you stir. You muttered soft, I ain't built that tall, but a voice inside growled, boy, that's your call. Thought of her, wild love with a blade-like tongue, who once said climb or die, half done. A cross still hung from your weathered shirt, burning your chest with a holy hurt. You pressed your thumb in the cracking stone, let blood you never shown. That cut fell clean like a vow reborn, a climb you owed since the day you were torn. You said, alright, Mount, judge me then. Shadow standing upright like a stubborn friend. You breathed in deep as the climb called out, a sound like truth shaking off your doubt. When the mountain breaks for you, it ain't giving up. It's pouring your strength in an empty cup. Every stone that falls is a step you need. Every crack in the rock is a place to bleed. You ain't the man who begged at the bottom before. You're the one who rises when the world wants more. Yeah, when the mountain answers the curse you threw, it's whispering back the climb still you. And if the rock keeps falling beneath your tread, it ain't a warning, it's raising the dead. Storm hit hard when I found that flame, a tired old candle whispering my name. I crawled in a hollow where the dark fell warm, trying to hide from the night-long storm. Held that light close like a stolen prayer, breathing slow so it stayed right there. But when I sat down thinking this is it, that flame pulled back like it threw a fit. I muttered, "Come now, don't die on me." But the fire hit small like a disagree. Wind outside screamed like a wounded creek, broken creek, calling my name with a broken knee. Some flames dim when you crawl to hide. They don't burn soft for the safe inside, but you lift them up to the hungry night, and they roar back loud like they're born to fight. I thought I needed shelter just to breathe, but the fire said, "Son, stand up and leave." Yeah, some flames shrink deep when you fear the cold. They only burn strong when your heart goes bold. They only burn strong when our heart beats bold. I stepped back out with the storm in my face, held that flame up like a last man grace. It bled bright gold like a cut in the night, growing stronger the more I faced the fight. I said, "Lord above, you tested me still." Thunder shot back like it answered my will. Thought of a wild love with a sinner's kiss, who told me once cowards die like this. So I lit my thumb with the candle's tongue, let it sting deep where the fear once clung. That burn felt clean like a vow in bone. A man's true flame storm could see what kind of fire still lived in me. Some flames fade small when you crouch in fear, but they rise up mean when the battle's near. They don't crave shelter or a quiet breath. They burn for the edge between life and death. I walk that bridge with a half-crooked grin, letting the storm test the fire within. 'Cause a man ain't done when the nights turn wild. He's only done hiding from his own exile. Yeah, the flame grew big when I faced the fight. Some fires live only in the open night, and if my light shrinks when I try to run, then I walk back out till the flame burns like a gun. I broke that chain in a cold gray yard, metal screaming like a wounded guard. Years on my wrist made the bones feel thin. Sweat tasted bitter like a half-spent sin. I dropped to the dirt thinking freedom came. Tears in my eyes, no pride, no shame. But one last link rolled out from the break, spun like brass with a path it take. I muttered low, hell, what you trying to say? Wind snapped back, boy, you ain't done today. Ground felt alive like it knew my name, pushing my shadow toward a different flame. When that chain link snapped, it pointed me on like the steel remembered where my soul belonged. I thought I'd break just to sit and cry. I thought freedom meant laying down to die, but the dirt ground deep, son, look ahead. What held you once ain't finished yet. Yeah, some chains point north when they finally break. Follow the weight you were born to shake. I picked that link up, still warm and red. Heat from the years I spent half dead. I whispered, Lord, you're watching me crawl. And a crow called back like it heard it all. Thought of her, that wildfire girl, who carved my name in a ruin of a world. I left her waiting with a prayer gone dry, thinking chains break easy when a man don't try. I pressed that link to my broken skin, felt the burn dig deep like a vow within. It glowed like truth I tried to deny, a spark pointing past the man I let die. I growled, if this is fate, then show me more. My shadow twitching like it knew the score. Blood from my palm hit the dust in streaks, marking the trail where the lost man speaks. Mine that chain link fluid carved me a road straight through the weight of the past I owe. Not soft, not sweet, but honest and mean, pointing toward a place I ain't never seen. I stood back up with a half-born grin. If steel can guide, then I'll step right in. Some chains break loud, so a man walks free. Some break forward, so he learns to see. If the steel points on, I ain't stopping here. Freedom ain't quiet, it's carved out of fear. Yeah, I follow the link that once held me fast, 'cause the way ahead's stronger than the chains of my past. He dropped that old shield on the dead red ground, hand shaking hard from the miles he'd found. War in his bones, dust in his breath, heartbeat slow like it flirted with death. He muttered, "I'm done, let the world fight on." Turned his back toward the rising dawn, but steel behind him scraped like a witness awake. That shield rolled forward in a ghost-like shape. He growled, "Hell, I told you no," but the metal hung like it refused to go. Wind carried whispers from battles he knew, echoed those sins he never quite slew. When the shield rolled back, blocking his path, it stared him down like a cold steel rat. It said without speaking, "Your fight ain't through. Your name still bleeds where the bullets flew." He kicked it aside, it came right again, like a wolf made of iron, demanding its kin. Yeah, when the shield rolls back to meet your feet, the battlefield still calls your heartbeat. He knelt down slow with a curse on his tongue, felt every scar from the man he'd been young. Thought of the girl with the fireborn eyes who prayed for him under dust dark skies. He left her once in a night gone cold, chasing a fight that never grew old. Now the shield stood firm like a stone-cut sign, pointing him back to the line in his spine. He whispered, "Lord, if this is my turn." Flames in his chest started slow to burn. He pressed his palm on the steel's worn face, felt the vow rise up he thought he'd erased. He said, "If I must fight, then carve my name. My soul ain't scared of the heat of the flame." Blood from his palm smeared red on the shield, marking the truth he refused to yield. When that shield rolled back, it chose his ground, dragged up the man he thought he drowned. No choir sweet, just a war drum beat. No saving grace, just boots and heat. He squared his stance with a half-dead grin, ready to march where he used to sit. Some shields return, so a man stands tall. Some roll ahead, 'cause they know his call. When steel comes back, refuse and retreat, your name still belongs
where the war drums beat. Yeah, when the shield returns from the dust you fled, it ain't over, you ain't dead.
Town burned down to bone, smoke in the air like a prayer long gone. Charcoal walls whispered things I'd done, every sin I carried weighing half a ton. I told myself this is where I fade, a ghost in boots in a grave I made. I bent down slow where the shadows slept, then the ash lit red under my step. I muttered hell, that ain't supposed to burn. And the wind spit back, boy, it's your turn. I felt the ground breathe, like a reckless truth, calling out the fire I thought I'd lost in youth. Every step I take, the ashes glow like the dirt remembers what my heart won't show. I thought I died when the whole town fell, thought my flame blew out in the mouth of hell. But the earth barked back, you ain't done yet. If the ash light's red, there's a fire you forget. Yeah, when ashes glow under your boot tread, your fire ain't gone, it's waking from the dead. Down slow, hands black with soot, thought of a cross hanging at my foot. Wild little love with a wildfire kiss, I broke her trust for a night I missed. I growled, Lord, you see what I became, and the dirt cracked wide like it knew my shame. Red light bled up through the broken stone, like a wounded truth crawling back to the bone. I pressed my thumb hard where the embers shine, felt a heat rise up through my crooked spine. I whispered, damn, that's me in there. Not hell, not sin, just a spark still bare. I said if fire's left, then let it judge. My shadow twitching like a stubborn grudge. I scraped my palm on a shattered beam, let blood drip slow on the dirt's red gleam. Now every step I take, the ashes flare like the ground itself dares me to repair. No choir sings, just a crack of heat. No mercy soft, just a promise at my feet. I ain't the man that I thought I buried. There's a flame inside I forgot I carried. If the ash lights up under where I tread, my fire ain't gone, it's waking from the dead. And so does a heathen.